All right, see if you can pop in there and say hi in the chat there. So we're not gonna chat here unless you have an emergency. But I'm sharing charts on YouTube. It's gonna be like 3 or 5 seconds delay, so you might want to mute this side. I need a new office. Can someone go in there and let me know? There we go. We have 2 or 3 people. It's a party now. And you get me live. Sandman. Metallica fan? Morning. Salut. Yes, sir. Everything good? I don't know. It's 5:20 here in the morning, so I haven't opened it up to the world. It's just us now. And then we're just going to hit charts. We're going to do a fast fire. My favorite. Let's just run through charts. Forget what the market's doing. Screw the market. In a little bit, I'll drop the link on. If you see me tweet something and you have followers, retweet it. I don't know if they have logic that rank tweets higher than others, so I'm gonna tweet the link on StockTwits, and it'll go to Twitter as well. If you would just retweet it, that'd be great. Not sure it helps, but look at oil fall. Yes. We need it to fall to drop inflation so that Powell will be done. I want them to stop manipulating the market. I see Tesla is having a hissy fit. Good morning, D. Alphabet is back to the lows, 103.5-ish. Apple's stable so far. It'll be the last one to fall. The SPY is bouncing on support. Good morning. Yeah, the echo is because you created a loop, so you didn't need to close it. Actually, that's the easy way to do it. No problem, Scott. For me, I just mute my own speakers or put a headphone on or something. Philippines. Nice. Well, that's the last bounce, yes. But that would be the trigger as well. It looks like it head and shoulders there. So if we lose that, we're going to drop another 1% or so. But if you read my morning note yesterday, you will notice Monday, before the market opened, you will notice that I said, be careful into Wednesday. I brought Wednesday as a potential hiccup. And guess what? David, I'm not sharing a screen here this morning. Go to YouTube Live. We're going to do a live charting session over there for an hour. And then we'll pop back in here. Roger. So we had, we said it would be okay to drop 3.5%. And we said, Wednesday, be careful. And it might get uglier on Wednesday. And it might be uglier tomorrow, depends on Tesla. I have no idea. I have no clue what that guy's going to say tomorrow. And if Tesla falls, will the money roll into something else? Or will they sell everything else? So don't be a hero. Like the last two trades I did, I'm not feeling comfortable about. I feel like I jammed them in. I just am crossing fingers that we don't have a correction between now and then. So the VIX yesterday could not hold 17. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So I'm going to go on Twitter and tweet. I'm holding feed on YouTube. Join me. I wonder if I'm breaking rules by posting a link. I know they don't like it when I post a link on Twitter or StockTwits and boast about a result that I haven't told them about. Like if I'm saying, hey, look what we did and it succeeded, and put SPY and put a $sign, they don't like that. Well, I'm not posting that now. I'm posting a $sign SPY. I'm offering charts. Morgan Stanley, yeah, not a big deal. Ben, what is that? What is that number? How much money they're spending on movies or something? Less content. Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, they spend too much money on content. Last I checked, something like 20 billion a year or something. That's insane. So one person say Morgan Stanley drops, one person say Morgan Stanley's up. Which is it, folks? Let's settle this. Stop fighting, kids. It's down. It's me. Yep. We are live on YouTube. Do I have water? Yes. Thank God. I'm going to eat it. This is usually for the OnlyFans page, but I'll give you the extra. Okay. ASMR video. Morgan Stanley falling, but it doesn't matter. 2 days ago it was here, so 2 days it was here, so it's a non-issue for Morgan Stanley. You know what? I haven't traded that stock in a long time. I don't even know where it's at. Look at that on a weekly basis. It's a pretty good trend, right? You would say that the buyers are in charge. They're buying dips so far. On a daily basis, it has support. So I guess we started. Let's go. It's about here right now, pre-open, maybe a little gap at 85. So if somebody wants to buy shares and they would like to sell some puts to own the shares, might be an opportunity. The 2-hour harmonic says that it's pretty close to its second target. Now, the risk is if they lose 81.5, they might go to 76. But I don't think it does it alone. In fact, here's what I will do. I'll add an alert. Long 1 of 2. So if I'm looking to go long, I'll just take half a position and I'll have more conviction down below. Long 2 of 2. These are notes to myself. Yes, smash the like button if you like it. If you don't like it, is there a hate button? Don't hit the hate button. Why isn't there a thumbs down button on Instagram? There's a lot of things I want to hit thumbs down on. Why do they assume I like it? Let's start. Give me tickers. What do you got? Morgan Stanley, done. Moving on. Netflix, of course. Let's do Netflix. I did a video on Netflix yesterday. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. So we had... Okay, Scott, we'll check Google. Yeah, 1 second. So last night, Netflix had a pretty dramatic overnight session, but it was exactly what the options told us it could do. So if this morning Netflix opened and it falls down into that area, box 1 or box 2, so 313, 307, 308, it's an opportunity to try to buy it because that would be just a natural thing to revisit the lows and the highs. If it spikes to here, don't chase it until it proves it can take out yesterday's high, overnight high. So Netflix, watch the video. I have details. There's a buyer at 321, 313.14, and of course 306-ish, plus or minus $1 on every one of those. That's the easy trade on Netflix. Longer term, I wasn't too impressed with what they had to say. They're spending less on content. Thank you for that, Ben. They are not growing very fast money-wise, and I don't think they're growing very fast subscription-wise. So it's not a bad company, but there was nothing to buy in that. Just trade the chart. Okay, we had somebody asking for Alphabet stock. If on the 5 minutes, what's going on? Can anyone tell me? Yes, the sellers are in charge for now. So you have a problem at 106. 107, and you have support below. I would like it into 101, but it's going to react to Tesla. So Tesla tonight is going to cause a sympathy move across the FANG gang. I would include Apple and Microsoft. So all the mega caps will again move coin flip like with Tesla, like they did with Netflix. So be careful. And the S&P just made a lower low, which means we don't have footing yet. So watch the VIX. Yesterday, it cracked above 17, which it did this morning, and it couldn't hold it. So let's see what they do with that. This is a monthly expiration, so it's going to be a little tricky. Because volumes are high. Okay, let's see here. Shopify. Shopify, I closed my longs. I'm looking to re-engage. If it dips, I will buy the dip. This is not an obvious entry, although it is in a breakout mode. My concern is this. So this eventually, like going above 55, will take it to 66 or 70. But that's a tall order. So if you look at it, 53 plus or minus $1 was a place where they couldn't stop this giant fall, and they couldn't retake it, and this is their second effort. So above here, above 55, it will accelerate higher. So the idea is to buy shorter term dips. If it falls into 40, I would sell puts again to own shares. And if I see the breakout coming, I could engage with shares or call spreads to buy. If you lose 24, it goes to minus 20. Of course not, but that would be an opportunity to get long. I like Shopify. The queues are in coin flip mode every day for now because of the earnings. On a longer term basis, the queues have already broken out from February. So in theory, if they hold 305, they're going to 333, 35, maybe even 40 because of the breakout. Similar to Shopify. So if we were looking at Shopify, I said above 55, this is the 55 mark, and the queues have cleared it. This week is heavy queues. Next week is heavy queues. All the big guys will report, right? So this week we had Netflix and Tesla tonight, and IBM, although it's not a big queue guy, it is a tech company. And next week we have the rest reporting, and maybe the week after, maybe one more straggler. So if the queues survive the earnings above 304, let's say, I think the bears are in deep trouble without a bit bad headline. Shorter term, 30-minute chart. Actually, I'll do it here because I already have lines. This is the easy look on the QQQ. We have buyers below, sellers above. They're playing ping pong in between the two. I think this is the upside target, but they have resistance, and they have a lot of support. So if you look at it longer term, look at what's going on. Okay, so the trend is they were stuck here and they cleared this. That's the February peak. And if they hold this area, 305, 303, they are buying dips, and that's all there is to it. Look at it. That is not a bearish chart. If you give me this company, I would say the bulls are in charge. They're buying dips. That was a dip. They bought it. A dip. They bought it. If we have a dip, maybe they buy it. So you have support into 303, 305. Support, harder support into 285. And definitely 264. So even though this will be a painful drop, the bulls will still be in charge. So first things first, 3% drop would be fine. That was the message on Monday. I said, careful for Wednesday. We are red. That was Monday, if you read the morning note. And then careful if we get a 5% drop. Don't run for the hills. Jeff, I'm sharing the screen live on YouTube. Just click over for the morning, and then we'll switch over to our room. So we got 3. Tesla, I'm open to, whoops, not here. I'm open to tickers. Tesla's falling before the earnings. That makes it easier to react positively on the earnings. So if you remember, hit me up on Tesla later today. I'll give you clues from the options table like I did Netflix. And the clues from options on Netflix were spot freaking on. They told us exactly what was going to happen. Exactly. Well, if you know how to interpret it. So you see that 176 was a hard bounce 3 times. 174 was a hard bounce. And a whole zone of support through 164. So write those numbers down, 176, 174, and everything through 164. If you lose 164, you might lose another $10, $15, based on the fact being that a neckline for something I don't see on my screen. And the 176 is a head and shoulders that would cause it to lose enough to trigger that 164. So 10% drop from here maybe. It's not a big deal. Tesla is still pretty high. So this is a daily chart. It's right here, right now. If you lose this guy, you're going to trigger something that will make it lose this guy, 164, which will cover this gap, which is the mid 40s, which you've been talking about for a while. So it wouldn't be a big deal. I would remember I sold puts 2 or 3 times. I closed puts this week on a rally. So thank you, Arlenis. I will sell puts again if it falls into the 140s and make money. That's 3 sets of puts that I sold with you. And it doesn't take a lot of capital to do that. It just takes courage and conviction. And do it only in stocks you like. SM, not an obvious entry point. It's trying to fill a gap on a daily basis. There are buyers below. So pick your poison. This was a target 1 and 2 fulfilled of this harmonic. If it has earnings, that's a coin flip alert coming. I don't know much about the company. Technically, you have sellers above into 32 and buyers, conviction buyers into 25 or 24.5. Ping pong inside of that and chase the breach of one side or the other. Microsoft will move tomorrow based on Tesla in sympathy. The company's great. It's technically vulnerable. So it's in a buy the dip moment. For me, it is not an obvious entry point. So if I'm looking at this company, it is in the hands of the buyers. You can see the ascending channel. Hopefully I don't have a lot of lines. See that? So they are buying dips. Dip bought, dip bought, dip bought. If the dip comes, we will buy it. And here is the arrow that we had for it, and it's coming along that arrow path. So even though it's not perfect timing, it is perfect path. Look at what's battling. It is totally normal to stall on pivotal zones like that. And imagine if it dips one more time, it comes back and breaks through this area. Inverse head and shoulders, I would have tremendous upside. Conservatively, 40 points of upside. So don't be too short and don't be too shy about buying dips. Okay. Order flows. Let's give a chance for other people to hit charts. And if you like what I just said, hit the like button. And if you don't subscribe to the channel, subscribe. I can't ring the bell. It's still 5:40 in the morning here. Set the bell on the YouTube channel. It's free. This way, if we do go live in the future and you're not a member, you'll know about it. Cool, thanks. All right, so this is Microsoft. The mode is buy the dip at different levels, depends on your trading speed. If you're super fast, you can buy the dip with us live every second if you want. We will track it minute by minute. If you're like me, a slowpoke as far as trading, you can buy the dip on a higher time frame. Maybe 1 hour. What does that mean? You just choose a deeper level, like it would be closer to 272 rather than 284. Fast traders will be buying this little dip. Slower traders would be buying a bigger dip. Okay, Orly. Didn't they report? Somebody reported. AutoZone? No. What is the other one? I forgot. AAL or something. Okay, I don't know Orly. That is a complete breakout opportunity that's playing out. Let me take all of this junk out. We don't need it. So when a stock does this, guess what I do? I jump all in. I sell everything else I have. And no, I don't. I take it off my watch list. If it's a stock I like, I set an alert and take it off my watch list. Hi, Eric. Read up. Go to YouTube for now. So this is an excellent trend. It's just not for me. I don't chase all-time highs. Imagine if the market's correct 20%, what will happen to the stock? AutoZone is its sister company. And what is the other one? Advanced Auto Parts, AAP, is it? Yeah. What is going on with Advanced Auto Parts? Yikes. Yeah. So Orly, not for me. It's too high. Oxy. Sandman. Still trading Oxy? Okay, I'm not trading Oxy. I am currently short Chevron and profitable, and I also shared the trade with people, and I told them to close it because it was an easy win. How lucky was that? No, it wasn't luck. So Oxy. So they have harsh sellers into 68. Big pivot now. That is correct. So if they ever take it, they have upside. I think Oxy will never go back to this high for a long time. There's a looming bullish headline of Buffett living up to his expectations and buying the company outright. He had permission, he was given permission from the SEC to bump his stake to 50%. He hasn't done that as far as I know. So be aware of Oxy's price action around the 13F season. It happens every quarter. All the whales have to disclose their changes. So don't trade like a whale. Whales are not traders. Okay? So don't assume you can make money from this stock like Buffett, because Buffett is not making money off the stock price. He wants to put the financials on his company financials. So UNG, I closed my long. Oh, Nvidia first. People from YouTube, if you haven't been here before, this is what we do all day in a live session that's private. Today we're giving you a sneak peek. If you want to be involved in the free sneak peeks, subscribe to this channel. And it's free, of course. And we will go live, so hit the bell so you'll be notified when we go live. We don't have a schedule. We're just doing it here and there. Meanwhile, we do it all day with 320 people. The market hasn't opened, and we usually are quiet this morning. It's special for you. All right, so this is Nvidia. Nvidia is extended. It could lose a lot and still be super bullish. You can see where the levels are. 240 to 220. The bigger breakout was about 180 to 190. It wouldn't be for me. So here's my thought. If Nvidia is higher in the future, then the S&P is higher and the QQQ is higher, I wouldn't want to risk an extended situation into one stock or the other. Plus, AMD is cheaper. I'm not touching Intel anymore. I'm disappointed with them. So for me, it is vulnerable. That is still correct. See, that's not the same as shortable. It's just vulnerable. And I don't want to take vulnerable positions. So it's not an obvious entry point. That's the easiest way to do it. I think I caught all of these. UNG. UNG, like I said, I closed my longs, and I recommended that people buy shares at 670, and it went to 720 or whatever it did. I personally sold puts, and they died for maximum gains or near maximum gains. So yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I put a little forecast. So I said every rally, see these yellow circles, they were to highlight that strong rallies, don't trust them. They've yielded lower lows in the end. Maybe this one was different, this one. So I'm going to change the color of this one to visually remind us that there may have been a change here. So if this dip doesn't create a lower low, the change happened. That's exactly what the S&P did or trying to do. There was a dip that didn't create a lower low, and they beat the higher. So they made a higher high. So you see that? That was a change. And if they hold this candle above that and they make a higher high, or if they dip, like, so I put this forecast and this forecast because that seems like how they're moving. So maybe we're building an ascending channel. Look, if can hold, then there is a change of behavior. Those were my comments yesterday. So UNG, it's a crazy sector. Don't assume you know what's going on, and don't have too much conviction. Luckily, it is a cheap bet. It's a low dollar amount. It's not like cheap as in valuation cheap, but it's a low dollar bet. So the next time it falls into here, I could sell another put, and at the risk of owning shares. Same comments exactly for Boyle. So hit me with tickers. Let's go. I'm out of tickers. What? Are you guys asleep? It's 5:20 for me, or 5:40 now. What's going on? What's your excuse on the East Coast? This is charts and coffee. Where's your coffee? Let's go. Anyone go to Cars and Coffee? That's the play on word. This is charts and coffee. There we go. Much better. Shame people. The West Coaster. Roblox. I want to catch this falling knife. It is a good PNL. I didn't know exactly what they said that spooked people. So it is a catchable knife, but I want you to be aware that rallies will face selling. So at that, I want to see what happens what happens after that, I'll tell you why. I don't want to see this situation where it bounces, it faces selling, and then it comes back, and then here, what happens? Okay, if they lose this zone, they might do this. So be aware of this. So if they come down to here and they find support, okay. So I'm giving it a couple of days because of the market as well. I looked that day when it was falling and the premiums were not hot enough, otherwise I would have sold puts in it. So be patient. Also, I don't know when the earnings are. May 10th. I don't know. They must have said something. CLF, Cliff. They have definite sellers above, so rallies will be sold. Rallies will be sold, and you have a hard bounce. If that hard bounce is lost, 1650 is lost, it will come down to 15. You like that? If you like that, express your feelings. Press that like button. I'll tell you what, I'm insisting on the like button because it just gives us better visibility on YouTube. They'll say, hey, these guys know what they're doing. And people like their content. And we rank higher in the search. And we're not search experts, we're chart experts. Self-made chart experts. Chewy, I went long, I regret it. I maybe put the stock at 30. I'll take the stock temporarily. I don't like that they lost this one so easily. I do hope that this one holds and that one holds. So they have buyers through 30. So thank you. They have buyers through 30, but they have downside risk down to 24 or 23. So if you took my position yesterday, a couple people came to me. I said, you might want to close it for a small loss because I don't have a lot of conviction in the price action. The business is fantastic. Let's see if it translates into good price action. It will need help from the market. Let's say the market drops, it's going to suffer. If you're not from our group, say hi. Say, I am not from the group. Say hi. I haven't done Bitcoin. We'll do Bitcoin in a second. Crypto golfer. Boom. I love it. Okay, so be careful with that one. Even though I'm long, I'm already regretting going long. Alcoa. Alcoa used to have so much respect. They used to say the earnings season doesn't start until Alcoa reports. I'm wary of Alcoa. I think it drifts slower towards 40. It would be a better long. If they take out this yesterday's high or the overnight high, they have sellers at 43. I think they need to break out of 43 convincingly to get to 46. Otherwise, it might drift lower. If for whatever reason they lose 38, look out below. I don't know exactly their P&L anymore. It seems like they have harsh buyers, so they should have support. If we have a market correction, Alcoa I think will be bought. I would want to know into support. I haven't traded in a while, but you have support below. LMT, I don't even need to look at the chart, but I'll show you. It is just like the other one. It broke into all-time high. What do you need? What do you need from me? I got nothing for you. If you're buying it here for an investment, I think you're opening yourself up for a bad start. Potentially bad start. Look at it. They are buying dips and the dips are huge. You could lose $100 on this one or make 20. And that for me is a no touch. Okay. What is FIX? Two people are asking for FIX, and I don't remember ever seeing FIX before. So we'll check FIX. I'm curious, but a couple of people first. There's a bill first. All right, so I don't know what's going on with this one. What kind of a P&L is that? Yeah, they spend too much money. So if I were to buy a stock that has a P&L like this, I prefer Palantir. Palantir has a better P&L, arguably. Let's see the daily chart. It looks like they're trying to place a bottom here. Do I have lines? I do. Let's go to 120. All right, so a short-term higher low trend that looks like they're trying to make a bottom. Hey, John, thanks for being here. You can assume they're making higher lows. This kind of like the S&P. This is the S&P story. If you break through 80, you have a chance of breaking 82, which is the real problem. If you break through 82, you have a chance to get to 86. Meanwhile, don't lose that trend. I mean, this is progress, but you also have a problem above, multiple problems. So the biggest problem is here. So you're going to ping pong inside of here and then what? Break out or get to retest the lows. So cautious with this one. If I'm long, I'm not adding. If I'm looking to get long, maybe yeah. So FIX, I'm curious, what is FIX? Comfort Systems USA. Is that like a mattress company? Mechanical and electrical contracting services. How do you guys know this thing? It must be a microcap or something. I've never heard of it. Nice trend. On a daily chart, you should just buy the dips. So if you're getting long into 125 and 120, you're doing a good thing. If I'm long, I'm not adding. Short term, I think you have sellers into 138 and 140. You're at risk of losing 128. If you do, then enter around 118. So if they pop, I think they'll fade, and they might lose this guy to come down to here, which is a better entry. FIX. I don't know anything about their earnings. Their earnings are coming up, so that's a big coin flip reaction. Bitcoin. So I am long Bitcoin and super profitable. I haven't closed it. I think it's headed to 42. It's not an easy entry here. The next time it crashes and the next time you hear about idiots out there, smart guys saying idiotic things like it's garbage, it doesn't hold value, it's fake, it's man-made, flip them off and buy the dip. The deeper the better. They don't know what they're talking about. They're being blind. The smartest investor on the planet tells you that the best return on investment is a no touch for him. That is a pretty weird thing to say. It's one thing to say it's not for me. It's another thing to say facts that are wrong. He says it doesn't hold value very well, like Jamie Dimon. Excuse me? This is the best asset return in 10 years. Nothing even comes close to it. And you say it's not good. So you're basically playing to try to make money off of all the other losers. That's pretty bizarre. So Bitcoin is a buy the dip scenario. I did buy the dip and I'm enjoying the profits. So last night I went in and I locked all of my coins. I had a few that were not locked. By locked, I mean I get so-called interest on it. I stake them. I say, hey, I've got this many coins here. I'm not going to take them out. So I'm locking them. And for that reward stability in their deposits, they reward me by saying you will get percentage. I mean, it's piddly crap, but I've been doing it for years. And that piddly crap, the other day I went in, I was like, wow, that's pretty handsome. And some of it is cash. Because I hold USDC coin and it pays me dividends, so it's paying me in cash as long as I convert it to dollars. All right. Rich, are you asking me for a ticker? Let me know. We did that. Bitcoin, Mobileye. Is this security software? Driver assistance system. Okay. So the future belongs to this group. So this is definitely a buy the dip. I don't like to go long a stock that's going into a prior fail, regardless of how good it is. Now, having said that, if I'm long, I'm not going to shy out of it. If they break out into an all-time high, they'll get another $4 out of it. So buy the dip into 40 if it happens. Anything into 36, most definitely. It will be scary that day, so put yourself a note like I'm going to say, long, you idiot. That's a message to me. So in the future, when it gets down there, ignore what's going on and try to get long at least one of two bites. So right now, it's a buy the dip moment. It is vulnerable to 42 from here. Vulnerable to 42, so don't go in. I didn't say go buy it. I said if I'm long, I can stay long. Otherwise, I would buy it on dips for me. I don't like to chase. I don't go long anything on a green day most often. FICO. Fair Isaac. What does Fair Isaac do? Provision Management Solution. What is that? Credit score thing. Okay, what a description. Wow, check this out. Jesus. Okay, on a weekly basis, it says don't start longs here. You could go to 575. Vulnerable for dips. $50 to $150 dips on a weekly basis, which is a slow developing thing. There might be a catalyst that takes it there quickly. So here's the deal. This is a wide trading zone. You have a hard buyer at 650. You have a hard seller at 712. Ping pong inside of that. So when it's up here, don't buy calls, don't buy shares. When it's down here, do buy calls, do buy shares with stops. And if it breaks out, you can chase it if you're a trader. If you're an investor, look for dips to enter. This is not an obvious entry point. It is vulnerable. All right, FICO. Zoom, I can tell you, I'm long, and I would be long if I'm not long. If the market holds, Zoom will do well. I'll get to it in a second. LSPD. I remember LSPD, Lightspeed. I will never trade it again. It was such a tough trade on options. Very illiquid. It promises the moon. It never delivers it. It was very frustrating, so I stopped trying. I should have, I guess. I was waiting for this, and I never looked at it again, and it didn't come, and then I said, screw it. I did lose money on 3 attempts. Small money, but it frustrated me. Now, on a 2-hour basis, another rally is brewing, but it hasn't transpired yet. So if you go long and you know the stock, can you please join the group and tell me, Nick, I went long LSPD. I will take your advice on it. Technically, you do have a lot of support, and you should end up getting a spike towards $16 or $16.50, maybe even $17. So it's going to be wait, and it's not liquid. So unless it catches fire, you remember FRC was not liquid until it got in trouble and everybody wanted to trade FRC. Suddenly there were tons of options. It was totally liquid and a whole bunch of weeklies, and it wasn't before. So if the same thing happens with Lightspeed, I'll be interested. So the chart is not bearish. You have strong support. If for whatever reason you lose 13, you might go into single digits, but that's not what I think will happen. So it doesn't trade well, but it looks good. And we don't have enough likes. I'm only looking at 44 likes. Maybe it's not live. Can you please reward us with a like so that we can say, hey, we're doing a decent job. Zoom, P&L is great. Wall Street hates it. Super strong support. They're selling rallies. So if it rallies into 69, expect a smack on the head. If it falls into 64, I expect a buyer. If for whatever reason it loses 64, it might drop another $5. That is not my scenario. It doesn't deserve to be lower. Is this pandemic levels? That is all-time low levels almost. So I'll be a buyer. The P&L is solid. It's not a frothy company. They're growing their sales, and they're positive. They're making some money, and they're not borrowing money. So it's one of those, you know, you're trying to catch a loser. So you need patience. You need patience. So ISRG credit put spread, if it's dropping, it reported earnings last night. I haven't checked. Oh, no. So I'm going to give you a favor. I'll do you a favor. Don't sell credit put spreads after a 10% rally. Because regardless of how well you structure your put spread, it's after a 10% rally. You just sold it at a huge discount. It's a good product, and you're selling it at a huge discount. No way on earth would I do a credit put spread today. Nope. If anything, you would do a credit call spread today. So not for me. I wanted to trade it yesterday, but I ran out of time. So I missed it. I'll buy the next dip in ISRG. So when something does that, so I'm going to put an alert here. Wake me up when SRG drops to here, and I take it out of my watch list. I let the alerts do my homework for me. Don't waste your time in stocks that are not tradable right now. Good stock, though. Staking of coins could be good for some of us. Yeah, staking coins is great. The only risk in Bitcoin, in crypto, that I think is I can trade the hell out of crypto super successfully. It is my best wins for the last 2 or 3 years. But what I don't know is, will my money be there? So we found a loophole, and we use BITO, B-I-T-O. You can trade it in regular accounts, so you don't need a crypto account. Like if I wake up and I cannot open my trading platform, I get nervous. And one day I may wake up and I can't open my trading platform and all my profits are gone. But until that happens. With Bito, you can avoid that. You're welcome. J&J. I don't trade J&J. Buy the dip. And there is support scattered through 150. 170 could be a catalyst. I think you have harsh sellers. You do have a descending channel. I didn't read the comments. Yeah. Oh, I see. I can imagine what that was. So you can see a high, a lower high, and this was a lower high. So even if the bulls beat 170, I think they have a hard seller at 180. Hopefully these buyers are stronger than these sellers. Until then, it's range bound, 150 to 180. Wide range, but you can narrow it down to 171 to 158, 71 to 58. Larry, I'm blushing. I am blushing. Whew. Okay. Meta. Great trend. I don't trust it. Look at this. This is not humans. Somebody knows something, or somebody setting up somebody for a smackdown. This is worth taking a bearish bet on Meta for the earnings. And I mean bet. I literally mean bet. I will read the options before that happens. Yeah, nice packs. That's all those push-ups. So I'm concerned for Meta's income growth. I believe you can go back and look for yourself. I believe the last 2 quarters they have negative sales. Growth companies shouldn't have that. Growth companies should not have that. So I would not be long Meta here. This is a great price action. Regardless of what this company is, this box right here, if I don't have it, I should draw it. This is a tough box right there. This is your short-term range. So if on earnings it falls into 170, it would be a candidate technically to buy the dip. Otherwise, I think you should have hard sellers into 240. The closer it gets to 240. So if you twist my arm, say trade Meta here, I would bet bearishly. And I underscore the word bet, verb bet. Hey, Steve. Let's see here. You're seeing 53 likes. I'm seeing 61. I need to work harder. Work harder, Nick. Work harder. We got Zoom. We got Meta. We got J&J. Am I out of tickers? Netflix down. So Netflix was down 12% last night. I did a video on Netflix. After we're done here, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's pretty cool. It tells you, it gives you levels on Netflix below. There are 3 levels below to pay attention to. Actually, let's go there right now. Since you guys invested time in me, I'm going to invest time in you. This is the overnight session. By the way, the options data told us exactly what was going to happen. This was my note yesterday, 40 minutes before the close. SoFi, I'll do in a minute. I said it should be down, and if it falls into 300, it'll find buyers. It was down, and it fell into 300, and it found buyers. So if today it will fall, this is an area of support right there. So 319, 321, and then another one inside this white box, 312, 13, 14, 11, and then another white box, which is around 306. Those are 3 spots. If it falls into this white box, it is tradable. Now, investment-wise, I'll leave it up to you. I don't like this company investment-wise because it's not that exciting. And they are buying dips, but what are they excited about? It grew barely in sales, and they say they added 5% of paid subscriptions, which I don't know what that is. They used to call them subscribers. Why are they called paid subscriptions now? Like, I'm not a subscriber. The only reason I am a subscriber is through my phone. It comes free with T-Mobile. So, like, if I cancel T-Mobile, I cancel Netflix. So anyway, technically, if it breaks above 383, it can go to 450. So keep that in mind. I don't short it. I want a real dip to buy it. For me, it's below 260, personally. I would be interested. Like, I'm too harsh here. I should move that higher. Okay, so you see the Head and Shoulders right there? If you don't, let me show you. We might have too much noise. Right? Oh, it's already there. So try to focus on the lines I'm going to point to now. Okay. This is a longer term comment. You see it? The headline sideways. It's not visible here. I'm going to point at it here. Look, this sideways head and shoulders. So the downside is this much. So it will put it in the 240 area. So technically I can explain how it ends up there, but I think it needs a market-wide correction to do that. So I'm not bearish Netflix. I'm just not that excited. SoFi. I closed my long in SoFi. I will re-engage on the next dip. The reason I closed my long in SoFi because I had sold puts in SoFi and Affirm and they both won. So I closed both. I'm waiting to re-engage on the next dip. I think it's a misunderstood company. It does have risk from the rate hikes that are happening. So we can't control that. And Vic, we can't control that. This is something that Mr. Powell, sorry, Freudian slip there. See, in the live room, I usually ring the bell, but I can't because it's not even 6. Well, it is 6 a.m. Why? What the hell? A little bell for cuss words. What was I saying? Okay, see what happens when I mention Powell? SoFi is a buy to dip for me or a long-term investment. I prefer Affirm because I think I understand the business better, and they're not a lender, I don't think, yet. They carry some paper, but not to the same extent. Do your homework. I like them both equally. I like this one that it's a small dollar. I can tell people to sell puts with a clear mind that if I sell a put, say at 5.5, I'm only on the hook for $550, even if it goes to 0. I'm okay with that. All right, so this is the box I'm playing with right now on SoFi. Has hard sellers above 6 and change and has hard buyers below 560. So I sell puts to buy shares. That's how I'm trading SoFi. The alternative would be to just hold shares for a while. Weird gap down here. I would go sell puts, buy calls, maybe even. I like SoFi. All right, FRC KRE. So FRC is popping today. Did it report? We caught the knife in FRC. We traded it well. It was hairy for a second. How did I trade it, Nick? I sold puts. Yes, we went crazy. We sold many puts and they all played out. I closed my puts because it was going into earnings. So when it reports earnings, I will re-engage. It's one of those stocks that was not liquid, and as soon as it fell in trouble, it became liquid. Ally, same comments on Ally. KRE would be the safe way to do everything. So don't trade all three. Either pick the KRE and it's a blanket statement on all of them, or pick a couple of good stocks you trust and do that. Schwab I trusted. I sold puts in Schwab, and now that it reported, I may sell puts in Schwab again, because the CEO told me that here, I don't know if it's a he or she, they believe in the company. So if they believe in their own company, I believe in their belief in their own company. If you understand that. Let me see here. Join me now at. Whoops. I'm reposting on Twitter, so get more people in here. We already have a good attendance. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys and gals. If this is your first time with me, say hi in the chat. Microsoft, I'll get you. AM dollar rich. You want is rich is a ticker? I saw that earlier. Yeah, this is not for me, whatever this is. Hi, Jean? Jean or Jean? Are you French, Jean? Microsoft. I know Pays. They're from Utah. Okay, thanks. All right, so this is the stock. Clearly, the company is superb. It's like the Qs. It is. I don't understand AM dollar rich. Okay, I'm going to ignore it. 295 is a trigger higher. Buy the dip mode in this guy. It's just like the QQQ. They're in a breakout mode. They're almost at our target. Not an easy entry here from an investment perspective, but from a trading perspective, the bulls are in charge. They're buying dips at several levels. So it depends on how fast you trade. You buy appropriate dips. So for example, if I'm a 3-week swing trader, I would want it below 272. Or buying the breakout. So if I engage with it long right here, I'm saying a few things. I'm saying Tesla's going to be okay. The market's going to be okay this week because of the monthly expirations, and we're going to have a positive reaction to the earnings. So get long if you want to. It's not a super great place to get long. Better at 276 from this harmonic. This red W says that we could drift towards 276, would make a better entry point. For me, 272 or lower looks pretty good for my speed. Hi, Nev. Okay. Let's see here. Microsoft Ally. I don't remember this. What? ALLY. Just make sure you don't hit it on earnings. Did they already report? No. When is their report? When do they report? I don't see it. That's weird. Anyway, I don't want to take a long in Ally. I will buy the dip. Yeah, this video will be saved. Give me a few minutes after the close in order to post it. It posts directly, I think. You just need to know where it is. Walgreens? No, what is WAL? Western Alliance. Another bank corp. So you guys are all over the small banks. You just have to make sure you take ones that have reported already. So there's no headline risk. This one has seller risk at 42.5. How do I know that? It's these tails up here. If you want more information about these tails, you go to a lower time frame. Yeah, just 42.5. Be aware of that. And another seller at 50.5. So if you're long, you can stay long. If it dips into 36 or lower, opportunity to get long. So I don't know if it's liquid options wise. Tell me, is it? Have you traded it with options? I'd be interested. I don't know what this is. I'll have to do homework on it. Or you can just throw a blanket trade on the KRE. The KRE is a basket of a bunch of regional banks. So you do have risk, but it's spread. So if one bank reports, the other one doesn't, it'll move with those reports, but not to the extent where it goes out of business type of a headline. So it looks like we're out of that fear, the going out of business fear. 43.8 is trigger 1, 44.5 is trigger 2. As long as support is holding, I think they eventually break out through these. I will sell puts in the KRE for income. And by the way, sell puts at your own risk. Not everybody can withstand that. I did Tesla already, yeah. I'd like to buy a long SPY. Where's a good entry? It depends on your speed. So we went long the Qs 2 days ago, booked our longs that day, left runners, booked longs yesterday. I'm holding calls in the Qs that are green today. I will sell calls against them again today if I'm able. So I'm basically long the S&P through a good entry point on the QQQ. I don't know if we come out well out of this week. The VIX is too low. There's not enough fear. So that concerns me a little bit. It's like everybody's in the car and we have the windows open and a limo and everybody's hooting and hollering and drinking and nobody's watching the road. That's what I feel like right now. So we need a little shakeout to get everybody's like, wait, whoa, what just happened? Everybody sit down, put on your seatbelts. When everybody has their seatbelt and everybody's looking around, we don't get into an accident. Harder to get into an accident. Let's see here. Did I catch up? Tesla we did. Rivian. I'm not long to Rivian anymore. I suggested a couple of trades. They were hard and they ended up profitable for those who managed the risk properly, but they weren't easy profits and they were losers if somebody mismanaged the risk. Here is my concern about Rivian. They spend too much money. I know they will sell every car they make. I live like 10 minutes away from their headquarters and I see them everywhere, relatively speaking. So it is the second most popular EV in my area, to me, like pure EV company. I see some Polestars. I haven't seen any FSR, which I don't think they're selling. I've seen maybe 2 or 3 Lucids, and Teslas I see more than Toyotas. And so Rivian will succeed. Rivian stock may be a lot cheaper. I'm afraid that they're losing the trust of Amazon. I sense a rift there. Technically, if it loses the low, it may go to single digits, or at least the 11.2. So I am out of Rivian. If it falls to 11, I may sell puts in it. But this is a company that needs a lot of money to operate, and when the rates are rising, that is a disaster scenario. So I need one thing on Rivian to be a fan again, is for this line item to get better. Not the income statement. I don't care about the sales. How are you getting this accomplished? You cannot be operating with a negative $1.5 billion a quarter in cash to run your business. This is cash from operations. In other words, to me, the way I read this, I'm not a financial expert, but I do know my way around the P&L. So in order to deliver the profit and loss statement they are right now, sales and whatever net loss, they have a cash from operation activity of $1.5 billion negative a quarter. That is a shit ton of money. Where are you going to get that? Amazon didn't get them that. So what did they do? They issued stock or convertible notes, which is basically diluting their own stock. And that's why it fell. Not because it's a worse company now. Because the management said, I need money. Daddy won't give me money, Amazon. Banks won't lend. I don't want to lend from banks. I'm going to borrow from people and tell them, hey, you can have stock instead of me paying you back. Not good for stock owners. So I bet you Amazon is not happy about that. If I was Amazon, I would not be happy. That's my take on Rivian, honestly. Disney, it's a buy the dip moment on Disney. Let's go to 1 minute. We nailed Disney. You're going to laugh if you're not a member. Check this out. This red pattern right here got me long because as soon as Disney hit my target, we went long, we had a bounce. So check it out. Where did we get this red pattern? How did we nail this? I copied this over to here. It went tick for tick. And as soon as it hit the bottom, we went long, boom, pop, we got paid. So then I copied another longer pattern and I said, maybe that's going on in Disney. So now I think this might be happening. Where did I get this pattern? I just copied it from back there. I just changed its shape. That's okay. So I can't remember where I copied it from. There. See it? I said maybe they're going to repeat it. So that's the dip, that's the rally. So we're here somewhere. Maybe we have another dip. It's a buy the dip mode. There's no need to get long Disney here. Check it out. You have a hard seller into 117. An unbelievable buyer down here. A mini seller at 109 and a mini buyer at 91. So ping pong between these. Okay. Short term, there's your nice trend. Lose 98, get down to 95, buying zone. Lose this guy, get down to here, buying zone. I have alerts. Disney, I don't know when they report. I imagine today they're going to move with Netflix a little bit. All right, let me see here. Okay, so we have like 8 minutes running through the tickers. TSM. Is that Taiwan Semi? Is that the same as TSMC? Not an obvious entry point, although this is support. So as a trader, if you go along here, you're banking on support, I would stop out immediately. Like say, if I lose 10%, I'm out type of a deal. Or if you lose that low, which low right there, because you might end up here. Down here, it's a much better entry point. I have to tell you, I wouldn't touch anything with Taiwan because of the extra level of risk from headlines of the skirmishes between the US and China over the debate over Taiwan. Like, for example, if you go along any other chip company that is not in Taiwan, you have the normal variables, headlines. With the Taiwan, you have that, and the extra headline from the Chinese Sino-Chinese, no, what is that? Sino-US relationships, as they say in the headlines. So I don't want that extra risk. Good company, yes, no doubt, but for me, better below 82 or around 82, short term. Did Ally affirm? I just closed my longs yesterday. I would buy the next dip. It's a good investment for the long term. People misunderstand the business. Anywhere below 10 or at 10, I would sell more puts. I sold puts at 10. It went below 10. I didn't budge because I've collected 70 cents. My break even was 9.3. It bounced right above that. Puts went to zero in my favor. The person who bought the puts from me lost money. So my favorite way of making money is selling losing lottery tickets for people. I show members how to do that all the time. So if you think like a buyer, if you think like a sheeple, you know, people who are sheep, they follow. Ooh, look at what's rallying. Let's go. You're chasing. You have to be right all the time. Me, I have the way I trade. I want people to be wrong, which a lot of people are wrong a lot of the time. It's harder to say where a stock is going. Like I can't tell you a firm is going to 14 in the next 6 months, but I can tell you a firm won't stay long under 10 based on the current conditions. So I only have to know where it's not going to make money, which is everywhere else than where it's actually going. So you can pick one place to bet or all the other places where it's not going to go. That's the best way. Snap, I would not touch it. That is a fact, my friend. It lost me money last year. I flipped it off and the CEO off. A company that decides to pre-announce its bad news weeks before the next earnings and just weeks after the prior earnings is a management team that doesn't know shit about shit. Why would you do that when you catch everybody unprepared? People get prepared for violence around earnings. So if I hold a position in a stock, I protect it around earnings because of that fear. Well, he came out and out of the blue said, oh, we're going to suck in a few weeks. Well, why didn't you tell us that a couple weeks ago when you reported earnings? It was just a bungle. So I washed away from Snap. Plus, did you know it's a camera company? What? What the fuck? It's a camera company? Okay. So he competes with every phone on the planet. No. Trading wise, you can see they have a hard buyer and a hard seller. It's shrinking, so there's something coming soon. Up or down, I don't know. If you're long, you have buyers below. If it falls anywhere below 950, it becomes an interesting trading opportunity. Above, into 1250, it has sellers. Above 1250, you might get another $1 out of it. So trade it fine. I wouldn't touch it for the long-term investment. AbbVie. Affirm, AbbVie. Wait, ABBV? I haven't traded AbbVie in a long time. I avoid the whole sector because of that extra headline risk. Hard seller at 168. If the bulls can take that, I think they would break 180. Of course, hard seller at 175. But if you take this out, you get to 180 or more. It's a buy to dip stock for me. The closer to 152, the better. I don't think it loses 144 without a headline. If it does, I think it gets to 128, but it's not my scenario. The bulls are in charge. Buy the dip. BX. If you're asking me about a stock that's coming into earnings, whatever I say doesn't really matter because the earnings reaction is completely arbitrary. Trust me. I would buy the dip into 86 if it comes. I think if it rallies into 98, I would exit longs if I'm a trader. The range is 98 to 86, and if it comes to 82 or lower, it's a decent opportunity to get long. We've traded BX before successfully. I think the marks might be here. Oh, yes, this is another one of those. Check this out. This is the pattern that repeats itself. We traded it a couple times successfully because of this pattern. I copied this over to here, and it looks like it's doing it again. So the next peak, get out because it has the tendency of giving it all back. We have 3 more minutes. If you like what's going on here, guess what? This happens all day. What the yes, all day. We do this all day. We have, I can show you here, watch. They're filing in right now and they're asking, where are you at? And I was like, I'm on YouTube getting people in. Check this out. 171 people right now and filing in. Okay. So this happens all day. If you're a trader, join. You will not be disappointed. If you're not a trader, you're an investor, join. You will not be disappointed. You can pop in and say, Nick, I'm thinking of doing this and that. Nick, I'm in trouble with this and that. I'm there all day. Find me another person that will do that for you. I'm in there all day. You can ask the gang. Maybe 9 hours, maybe 10 hours a day. There's not enough time to do all these stickers. I'll do VAL for you. If I caught up. I did snap. Good morning, Adval. It's funny to see the names here. Oliver, thank you. Talks all day. That's not a good thing. They tell me shut up. VAL. I think it's going to be the last sticker. Nope, that's not. VAL, VALE. Is that what you meant? Buy the dip into 15 and exit if it loses 1480. 5 more likes. Let's go. Why? Oh, let's break 100 likes. Can we break 100 likes? I see 94. 6 more likes. Hey, Jacob. 30 seconds to ding ding. Don't follow the herd. Don't follow the herd. Oh, that wasn't tickers. Hey, Blitz. 103? Okay, good. Now you can go. Sweet face. Oh. Whew. Hold on. I'll see you in the live chat. Good morning, Liz. Yeah. Jump in. If you don't like it, cancel. I'd be shocked if you cancel. This happens all day. Oh, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's just Simple Stocks. So youtube.com/Simple Stocks. And put the bell on, because then you wouldn't get notified next time we go live. Gint, I'm in YouTube. I'll be here in a second. They're asking, where's the screen? Where's the screen? Because they're logged in and there's no screen. They can hear my voice. They can't see my screen. Okay, YouTube, you guys were fun, and gals. I'll see you next time. Just put the bell on. Okay, we're going to end it abruptly in 4, 3, 2, 1. End the stream. Yes, end it.